Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the topic theories of learning. Theories of learning attempt to explain the mechanism of behavior involved in the learning process. That is, learning theories are an organized set of principles explaining how individuals acquire, retain, and recall knowledge. Learning theories may broadly be divided into three categories: behaviorist theories, cognitive theories, and constructivist theories. Here, behaviorist theories, we have to study theory of Thorndike connectionism, Pavlov theory of classical conditioning, Skinner theory of apparent conditioning, Hull's reinforcement theory. And the cognitive theories, we have to study insight learning theory by Gestalt, Levin field theory, social learning theory by Bandura. Then constructivist theory, we have to study Bruner's theory of learning by discovery, cognitive constructivism by Piaget, social constructivism by Vygotsky. Then we have to study what is behaviorism. Behaviorist theories consider learning as a process through which experience causes permanent change in behavior. They interpret learning in terms of connection or association between stimulus and response. Stimulus is an event that activates behavior. Response is the observable reaction to a stimulus. According to behaviorist theories, learning is accomplished when a proper response is demonstrated following the presentation of specific environmental stimulus. The important connectivist or theories are discussed now. First one, Thorndike's theory of connectionism. We know we are familiar with this theory, Thorndike theory of connectionism. The theory of trial and error was proposed by E.L. Thorndike, an American psychologist. It is stimulus response theory, which assumes that through conditioning, specific response came to be linked with specific stimuli. According to Thorndike, the chief way to effect SR connection is through trial and error. And hence, this process is called trial and error learning. Trial and error learning is a process of elimination of erroneous responses for the establishment of correct response to each trial. Thorndike maintained that learning is a stamping in of the correct response and stamping out of the incorrect response through a process of trial and error. Thorndike conducted several experiments on animals to explain his theory of learning. So we know that Thorndike's experiments, and we have to remember one thing: Thorndike's law of learning. On the basis of his experiments, Thorndike postulated three important laws of learning: the law of readiness, the law of exercise, the law of effect. Then, here under the behaviorist theory, we know that Pavlov's another theory we have to study is Pavlov theory of classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a form of learning in which two stimuli are presented together and response originally elicited by one of them come to be elicited by the other. The theory of classical conditioning was advocated by Pavlov, a Russian psychologist. Conditioning means modification of natural response. Pavlov theory considers learning as habit formation and is based on principles of stimulus response association and substitution. It may be defined as a process in which a conditioned stimulus comes to elicit a response after having been paired with an unconditioned stimulus. Then we remember something about this theory is like that educational implication of this theory is, I just mentioned, principles of classical conditioning can be used for developing good habit in children, such as respect for elders, punctuality, etc. And it can be used for deconditioning or breaking of anxiety, fear, and phobia in maladjusted children. It can be used to develop positive attitude towards learning, teacher, and school subjects. Another theory is Skinner's theory of apparent conditioning. Apparent conditioning is a process of learning through which organisms learn to repeat behavior that yield positive outcomes or permit them to avoid or escape from negative outcomes. The theory of apparent conditioning was formulated by B.F. Skinner in 1930. The theory is called apparent conditioning as it is based on certain operations or actions which an organism has to carry out. In this theory, Skinner makes a distinction between response behavior and apparent behavior. According to him, there are two types of responses: elicited response, emitted response. So, I'm not mentioning about his Skinner experiments and anything. Now, Hull's reinforcement theory is also comes under behavioristic theory. The drive reduction theory of learning, postulated by Clark L. Hull, is a connectionist theory which holds that learning is nothing but stimulus response association. According to Hull, mere association between stimulus and response is not enough for learning. Some other kind of reward or other reinforcement is necessary to establish the link between stimulus and response. Hull emphasized the importance of satisfaction of needs in learning. Need can create behavior, and the particular behavior that reduces need is learned by the organism. Hence, the theory is known as drive reduction or need reduction theory. Then, I'll mention some features about behaviorism. Behaviorism is a worldview that assumes a learner is passive passive, responding to the environment stimulus. Here, learner is a passive and teacher is active. Learner is like what? A clean slate. We called it as tabula rasa. Behavior is shaped the positive and negative reinforcement. Here, learner has no role at all. Teacher is the active role. Learner is a passive and they are like a clean slate. Then we have to know that another theory is cognitivism. Before moving to the cognitivism, I will mention about the features of behavioristic classroom feature. A behavioristic class has its own procedure. First, the objectives are stated. Secondly, teacher provides hints that guide the students to the desired behavior. Then the teacher make use of consequences to reinforce the desired behavior. The end product is evaluated. Here in the behavioristic classroom, end product is evaluated. Not process is the process is not evaluated. Only end product is evaluated. Then the teacher job is to modify behavior of students by setting up situations to reinforce students when they exhibit desired response. Teacher designed the learning environment. He determined all the skills needed to lead up to the desired behavior and make sure students learn them all the set step by step manner. He present effectively structured material and assess students proper and complete understanding of it. Here learner is basically passive, just responding to the stimuli. They must know how to execute the proper response as well as the condition under which the response is made. The learner is considered as a black box. What happened inside is unknown. The learner, the student's role are to be absorb instructional presentation, and material and use them to create performance which indicate attainment of correct mental models. Here, the evaluation in behavioristic classroom evaluation is strict evaluation is done. Individual tests and practical works are done to demonstrate mastery of materials, activities, and process. Then emphasis on few summative products and performance. So, in behaviorism, the association between stimuli and response lead to a new behavior or change in the behavior, and it focuses on what the learner does. Then, this is behaviorism. So, now we move on to cognitivism. Cognitivism, according to cognitive theories, learning is a process of developing understanding or insight. Now we discuss about according to cognitive theory, learning is a process of developing understanding or insight in the learner. The important cognitive theories are the insight learning theory. The theory of learning by insight is a contribution of Gestalt psychologist Kohler, Kafka, Wertheimer, etc. And hence it is known as Gestalt theory. They consider learning as the development of insight, which is primarily concerned with the nature of perception. Then another theory comes under cognitivism is uh, Levin's field theory. According to the field theory proposed by Kurt Lewin, learning is a process of perceptual organization or reorganization of one's life space involving insight and emphasis on behavior and motivation in learning. Another theory comes under cognitivism is social cognitive learning of Albert Bandura. The social cognitive learning proposed by Albert Bandura, a Canadian psychologist, emphasized that learning occurs observationally through modeling. Modeling is a process in which the child learns by merely observing the behavior, attitude, and emotional reaction of others, most commonly of the people nearest to them, like parents, members of the family, teachers, and older member of the society, etc. From observing others, the child forms an idea of how new behavior are performed, and on later occasion, this code of information serve as a guide for imitated action. Since learning occurs as a result of observation and imitation of the behavior of the others, this type of learning is also called observational learning. In cognitivism, it is an approach in psychology and it emphasizes on role of cognitive process in learning. It is a theoretical perspective that focuses on the realms of human perception, thought, and memory. Cognitivism emerged as a reaction to the behaviorism. The behaviorist opinion that if there is a stimulus, there should be a response. According to cognitivists, something must mediate between the stimulus and response, that is cognitive function. Cognitive theory assigns central role to mind. When the learner mind react to the teaching learning take place. Through there is a stimulus, the learner think about that for some time and then give response so cognitivism doesn't have mechanical approach towards learning. For example, a cat before jumping from a wall first observes sport carefully, think and then jump. The cognitivists deal with the things that happen inside the brain as we learn. They examine the mental process related to learning. The focus is on how the learner processes and stores information in memory and remember on demand. The change in behavior are observed but only as an indicator to what is going on in learner's head. Learning is relatively permanent change in the mental association due to experience. This definition focuses on change in mental association and internal change that we cannot observe. Learning is also seen as a change in knowledge stored in memory. Learners actively process information and learning take place as they organize, store, and think new knowledge to existing knowledge. They see the outcome of learning. It depends not only on what the teacher present but also what the learner does. The process this information. Here, teacher, cognitive classroom, teacher create learning environment and assess learners as they explore it. The teacher is considered as a facilitator or architect of learning. He helps the learner in organizing and structuring the information accurately so that it can be easily assimilated. He links new information with the existing information. He uses techniques to guide and support learners' attention, encoding and retrieval process. Teacher manage the class activity. He is a coordinator, motivator, counselor, guide, etc. Here in the case of learner are active processor of information. Learner occupies the central position in cognitive classroom. Learner explore the learning environment in contact with others and construct meaning from experience. They apply knowledge in personally meaningful situations. Here in cognitive classroom, we give activities like discussion is emphasized, open-ended assignment linked to changing learning objectives are given. They are active. There is active collaboration among pupils. They apply the principle and the point they learn in meaningful situation. So, the main features of cognitivism is learning is material and activities meet individual difference. It ensures learners' involvement in class activities. Reinforcement is important but not essential for learning to occur. Learning materials are divided into meaningful units. Learning materials are properly organized and structured. Teaching proceeds from simple to complex. The goal of instruction is communication of knowledge. New knowledge is linked with existing knowledge. Learner is the central figure of teaching learning process. Teacher is a facilitator or architect of learning. Learning outcome depends on teacher and learner. Next, we discuss about constructivism. It is best described by Confucius quote, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Constructivism is a learning theory that describes nature of knowledge and how human beings learn. Its basic idea is that the learner must construct knowledge. So, according to constructivist, learning is a construction of knowledge. The main goal of constructivist teaching are student empowerment and autonomy. Constructivist teaching foster critical thinking and create motivated and independent learner. In constructivist approach, knowledge is not given to the students directly. Students are involved in the process of learning to reach new understanding. Students from their own understanding and construct their own knowledge. This knowledge construction process is facilitated by the teacher, and so he is known as facilitator of learning and not as a provider of knowledge. Constructivism has three broad types. There are psychological constructivism, social constructivism, and radical constructivism.